All right, here we are, Nettie the Stands here. So I got a kooky new thing, the Kemper Profiler. I've had a Fractal AX II at one point. I still have the Fractal AX8. After doing some research, I wanted to check out this Kemper Profiler. Two profile amps. I thought this would be cool. Everyone says, oh, it sounds exact, almost exact, whatever. So I'm gonna profile my amp, my Wizard amp, and I'm gonna just I thought I'd make a little kooky video on the process after doing all the research on the internet, how I'm gonna do this profile and see how it turns out. So that's what we're gonna try and do this evening in this extremely hot shop of mine. All right, here we have the Wizard amp that I'm going to profile. It's the Wizard MC2 Modern Classic 2, and for the first profile I'm just going to run it straight in with no pedals in between. Here's my kooky out of control pedal board that I just recently built. I'm not going to use this at all for this process. And then over here we have a Wizard 412 bottom with two English made vintage 30s and two English made Celestion greenbacks. And in that old Sonic bottom over there, you got two English Celestion vintage 30s and two Celestion Greenback 75s. So I'm going to start out using the Wizard cabinet, but eventually when I'm done, I'm going to have both cabinets profiled with different microphones, different settings, and all of that. So let's see what happens. So here's where I got the cabinet. It's same place I used for recording. It's the best I can do. It's this little hallway that leads to the outside. But I built this kooky made out of plywood and then covered it with whatever that material is to deaden the sound coming from that doorway, which it does a pretty good job. And then for right now, I'm just gonna start out with one SM57. I got it kind of in the middle-ish between the dust cover and the edge of the speaker cone. So just gonna keep it simple and just get used to learning how to profile, and we'll see how this turns out. All right, I think I'm set up, ready to roll here. So there's the Kemper rack profiler. This is the guitar I'm gonna be using. I call it the cigar guitar. These are all cigar bands from cigars that I smoked. I did a video about this guitar. It's on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to use that guitar. It's got a Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge. I really have been happy with those Seymour Duncan JBs. So, and then I got the mic on the cabinet, and then I'm going to go into this all the way far left Shadow Hills Mono Gamma preamp, mic pre. And then from that mic pre, I'm sending the signal into the Kemper. The monitoring outputs of the Kemper are going to these two on the right Shadow Hills preamps, so I got to set all that stuff yet. And then from the Kemper, we are going into the input of the Wizard. I unplugged the cords I had in the effects loop. I'm going to adjust the volume to where it's usually right around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock-ish. I don't think I could ever go above 10 o'clock on the volume. It's a pretty loud amp. It's a 50 watt. And we're going to get this whole process rolling. And I've never done this before. I'm just going to go on what other people said to do, and I guess it's supposed to be pretty easy, self-explanatory once you get into profile mode, so let's give it a shot. that, I'm plugged in, everything's plugged in, except for one thing. I don't have the cable going to this yet. I needed to set the level on the Shadow Hills preamp because it wasn't getting to my Apollo interface. So I set the level real quick where it's at. It's not quite peaking. So it started to peak, I turned it back. I got the, I'll explain the amp settings later, but I got the volume at just under 4. So it's just under maybe 10 o'clock. So now I'm gonna unplug it and plug it into the thing and see if I figure that out, how to work it, because I wasn't getting any sound the way it was. If I have to bypass the Shadow Hills mono gamma, I will, but I'm gonna try and use it, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so I got it. It's working. It's working. So this is what the Kemper amp sounds like right now. Pretty saturated. I set the level for the Wizard, and this is what the Wizard sounds like. So they are, wow, they are very different. So I know there's more to it, so we're gonna start the process. So I got that set, now we're gonna do next. Now I'm selecting between clean and distorted guitar. It's obviously distorted. And I guess I'm gonna just hit start profiling. Profiling in progress. It might get loud. I'm using my Yamaha NS10s. This takes a little bit, I guess. Man, it is hot in here. So it's done. It's done, and now it says refine profile. So I heard you got to do that. Alright, I guess that's probably more than what I needed to do. I'm going to click finish. So there's the Kemper amp now. There's the Wizard. Kemper. You know, it's not exact. It's not exact, but it's close, very, very close. Well, it's a profile. There's my first profile made on the Kemper Profiler rack. So now we'll create a new profile. return level. All right, hitting next. No, that's not what I want to do. It's creating a whole new profile. Exit. No. What happened here? We'll just profile it again and see what happens. I screwed up something. So what had happened is, I should have pressed store. So right now I'm storing the profile. I wish there was an easier way to name your profiles, but it's kind of a process, so I'm going to do this real quick and then we'll see what it sounds like. Alright, I got it all profiled. Now what I'm going to do while I got everything set up, I'm going to now make a profile of the same exact channel, same exact sound, but with the boost on. And then I'll have the main channel crunch, and then I'll have the boost main channel crunch. So I'm going to do that. Alright, there you got it. Now I got the boost channel where it's got a little extra oomph in it. Using the Yamaha NS10s, I don't know if I said that earlier. Alright, there you go. I did my first two profiles. I'm going to do a lot of profiles. I have a lot of friends in Milwaukee, that guitar players that have really good tube amps, that I'm going to profile them all. The Judas Priest cover band I play in, the Hellion, the other guy, he's got a 90s Mesa Boogie, dual rectifier, a Splon Quick Rod, and an Angle Powerball 2. Master Pella, he's a hell of a fella. My buddy Dean Arndt, he's got a bunch of heads he said I could profile. So if you're in Milwaukee and you're a guitar player, I'm coming for you.